How do hot air balloons fly? Hi, welcome to Curious Kids Every Day. I'm Josh. How are you doing today? It's so good to hear from you. Hey, have you ever seen a hot air balloon before? What does it look like to you? Just a absolutely massive balloon, isn't it? The biggest balloon you've ever seen in your life. And underneath that big balloon is a little basket. A basket for people. You can literally stand in a basket with this huge balloon above you and just float around in the sky. Have you ever thought about what it would be like to be inside the basket of a hot air balloon and float through the air? I bet the view is pretty amazing. Have you ever wondered, how do hot air balloons fly? Well, let's figure it all out today. Hot air balloons fly because warm air rises above cooler air. Have you ever been in a 2-story house and when you went upstairs, it was warmer up there than it was on the first floor? That's because warm air rises. Or what about, have you ever been in a house that had a basement and then you walked down to the basement and the basement was a little colder than the room you were in above it? Again, that's because warm air rises. But why does hot air rise? Well, air is made of tiny little pieces called molecules, and those molecules are always moving around. And when air gets heated up, those molecules move faster and spread out more. And when the warm air spreads out more, it's not packed as tightly. It becomes less dense than the cooler air around it. Colder air is dense, and warmer air is less dense because it's moving so much. A hot air balloon has a giant fabric balloon at the top. That part is called the envelope. Attached below is the basket, which is sometimes called the gondola. Between the basket and the balloon is a burner. That's the thing that shoots out the big flame upward into the balloon, and it heats up the air inside. As the air inside the balloon gets warmer, it becomes less dense than the cooler air outside of the balloon. And that gives the balloon an upward lift. And that lift is powerful enough that it can carry the balloon and the basket and the burner and the people in the basket. If the pilot wants to go higher, the pilot uses the burner to heat the air more. Hotter air inside means more lift, so the balloon rises. And if the pilot wants to go lower, the pilot keeps that burner off and lets the air inside cool down a little. Cooler air becomes more dense, tightly packed, so the lift decreases and the balloon starts to come down. Many balloons also have a vent at the top that can be opened to let hot air escape faster. Because remember, hot air rises. So if there's an opening, hot air is going to take it. Now you might wonder, if a hot air balloon goes up and down, how does it move forward? Well, the answer is wind. And that means that you can't really steer a hot air balloon the same way that you would steer an airplane. They mostly travel with the moving air around them. Pilots can sometimes find wind blowing in slightly different directions at different heights, But it's not really a precise science. You're kind of just at the mercy of the weather up there. Now, hot air balloons are huge. And the reason for that is because air is not very dense to begin with. So it needs to hold enough warm air to lift everything underneath it. To recap, hot air balloons heat the air inside the balloon. The warmed air becomes less dense than the cooler air outside. That gives the balloon lift. Then the pilot controls going up and down by heating the air more or letting it cool. And the wind helps carry the balloon across the sky. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Just by heating air, you can make people float. Okay, let's have a quick quiz. What is the biggest reason a hot air balloon can rise into the sky? Because the air inside gets heated and becomes less dense than the cooler air outside. What is the name of the giant fabric part of the balloon? It's called the envelope. And what does the burner do? It heats the air inside the balloon. And if a pilot wants the balloon to go lower, what do they need to do? Well, I guess it's more, what don't they need to do? They don't turn the burner on because they need the air inside the balloon to cool down a little. Let's play true or false. True or false? Cold air inside the balloon gives it more lift than hot air. No, that's false. Remember, hot air rises. So when the air inside of the balloon gets warmer, it creates lift. True or false? The basket is always above the balloon. No, that's false. The basket hangs below the balloon. True or false? Hot air balloons move along with the wind. Yep, that's true. Would you rather ride in a hot air balloon or ride on a rocket ship? Well, if I knew both were going to be perfectly safe, I would definitely choose a rocket ship. It would be so fun to go into outer space. All right, let's play a quick round of What Am I? What am I? I am the giant fabric part at the top of the hot air balloon. I hold the warm air, and I am much bigger than the basket. What am I? I am the envelope. I have never been on a hot air balloon before. And you know what? I'm not sure I ever want to. But I am fascinated by how they work. You know, it's one thing to walk upstairs in a house and it's warm up there and you think, oh, right, that's because warm air rises. But it's another thing entirely to watch a hot air balloon in the sky, hundreds of feet up there, and think, oh, right, that's because warm air rises. So, what do you think? Would you ride in a hot air balloon? What kind of question do you think we'll ask tomorrow on Curious Kids Every Day? I can't wait to find out. So until then, keep asking questions and stay curious, kids. And we've got some birthdays today. Today is Remy's birthday. Remy is from Washington and Remy is turning 9. Happy birthday, Remy. Luke is from Washington and Luke is turning 7. Happy birthday, Luke. Eden is from North Carolina and Eden is turning 4. Happy birthday, Eden. Nora is from Illinois and Nora is turning 1. Happy birthday, Nora. Justin is from Florida and Justin is turning 8. Happy birthday, Justin. Henry is from Hawaii and Henry is turning 5. Happy birthday, Henry. Carter is from South Carolina and Carter is turning 7. Happy birthday, Carter. And Luke is from North Carolina, and Luke is turning 7. Happy birthday, Luke! To all the grown-ups listening, if your curious kid wants their birthday mentioned on the show, please visit supportcuriouskids.com and join the Curious Kids Club. That's supportcuriouskids.com. See you tomorrow!